Good evening. Turner County Board of Education, here's your agenda. You can, of course, if you need to, stop the video on the replay after we get it loaded and look at each item as you may need to. Got a 3-page agenda tonight. Most of this is just routine matters, shouldn't be any discussion. Just bring it up and vote on it like chairman, board attorney, and things like that. That's just an approval item there. There you go. Remind you that Friday at 8:30 is the district spelling bee. Following that at 2 o'clock here, the spelling bee is at 8:30 here, Civic Center. Following that at 2 o'clock Friday is the topping out ceremony for the second phase of the construction of the new middle high school. Topping out means the highest item on the construction is going in, and I think this is a roof beam or something of that nature. On tonight's agenda, supposedly, let me make sure of this, but I believe they're going to talk about HR recommendations. They're supposed to be talking about a new young farmer advisor. Longtime young farmer advisor Dennis Kendrick is retiring. He's got his time in, and they'll be looking at a replacement for that when they get seated. Left to right, Superintendent Christy Ray at the table, Chairman David Mathis, Vice Chair Sandra Blue, Cornelius Ball, and Kendrick, and at the end, Sam Brown. Mr. Brown has served on the Board of Education now for 25 years, making him the second longest serving elected representative in Turner County today. The oldest is longest serving is Joe Burgess, who has been a county commissioner for over 30 years now. They are expecting a big crowd. Just pan to show you. You can see we've got a pretty good crowd already here. They brought in extra chairs all the way into the back. It may be another standing room only meeting tonight. We don't know yet. That's Autumn right there, the redhead. She's the board secretary. The school principals will be making a presentation there on the big screen. If I can remember, I'll pivot the camera around so you can see what they're talking about. Try to remember that, no guarantees. Going back. All right, we are focused now on the school board. And they'll be starting momentarily. We have 4 of them seated. Mr. Mathis is fixing to take his seat.
Easy ready. Oh. Yes, ma'am.
So we just started it.
I got this. I send
I got a Christmas present in your son.
You're safe there. I usually say got ones there, that's where I usually stay, they're like $20, so.
Very nice. Yeah. Just jealous.
Magnificent. Wonderful day.
Listen.
I have 6 o'clock, we will go ahead and get started. We appreciate everyone joining us for our regular Board of Turner County Board of Education meeting. If you would stand for our invocation to pledge allegiance. Let's pray. Lord, we thank you for this time we can come together to discuss the business of Turner County school system. I just ask that everything that is said and done in this meeting concerns your sight, guidance, as we make decisions for the students
Public safety.
in our school system tonight.
Or watch over everyone associated with the school
The people
system
that we have in place
and give our school board the wisdom to make the right decisions in your sight.
that they would be able to give them the information that they need in order to be successful. So we ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Entertain a motion to approve tonight's agenda. Motion for Mr. Ball. Second for Ms. Blue. All in favor? It is unanimous. We have some student and staff recognition. I'll turn it over to our superintendent, Mr. Gray.
Yes, our first recognition for the evening, I would like for Mr. Brown to stand up. At the recent Georgia School Board Association meeting, he was recognized with a pin as being one of the very few school board members in the state of Georgia to serve more than 25 years. So we are very appreciative for all of his efforts, his service, the work that he's done to support Turner County schools in this community. And we just want to say thank you again for your 25 years of service and your continued service moving forward. Next, we have our GYSTC STEM Scholar, and I think Mr. West is gonna come up and present his purpose. Ms. Willis,
Yes,
will you
ma'am.
join?
All right, so everybody should know Ms. Kendall Perks. She does a wonderful job at Turner County Middle School for us. She, got together and she won a grant, for the GYSTC STEM Scholar, grant, and it was for $500. And I wanna let her kind of tell a little bit about what that was and what that entailed.
So overall, for this grant particularly, I focused on the integrations of various curriculum in the STEAM classroom. So this particular grant, was based on including literacy in our classroom and kind of increasing, reading and writing through, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math.
Absolutely.
Kind of a nutshell.
And we're very proud of her. She won that grant, and we're so proud to have her, and we appreciate all of her hard work and efforts. So,
And again, there was only a handful selected across the state of Georgia.
State of Georgia,
and she was
yep.
one of those.
yep, great job. Great job.
Thank you.
Oh, we got the board. All right, the next two items are board recognitions. This actually is Board Appreciation Month, so this is perfect timing. Our Board of Education has actually been awarded the Distinguished Award for Georgia School Boards for their achievement in the pursuit of higher standards in the local governance of public schools. So I'll present this to Chairman Mathis on behalf of the board.
Thank you.
Get a picture of everybody together with us.
No, I do not.
And if y'all would like to just stay standing, we have one more recognition. Coastal Plains RESA offers board training, and all 5 of our board members completed all of their training certification requirements for the board members' roles in advocating workshop. So again, we appreciate their efforts and their work to continue to remain as a distinguished board.
Can't see yours, Mr. Brown.
Mm.
Yes. Got it.
Thank you all. Now we'll do our scholarship.
All right. So we'll talk a little bit about the REACH scholarship for our 8th graders. This is specifically for our 8th graders, and it gives our 8th graders an opportunity to apply and receive a scholarship for $10,000, okay? And so what we did was we put together a team, an interview team, and we had those people interview interview our students. We took our applicants, went through everything, made sure everybody was good to go, made sure they met all the requirements. And our interview team, selected, 5 recipients, okay? And so those recipients received a $10,000 scholarship. And as long as they maintain good attendance, good GPA, good behavior, and just an all-around, well-rounded student from here throughout high school, when they go to apply to a college in Georgia, and that's one of the stipulations, they have to attend a university or college in Georgia, they will receive $2,500 per year for 4 years. Okay, so they'll get $10,000. So, and as I told our students, I said, listen, that's just one little piece of the pie, of the potential that they could get, So obviously they can apply for more scholarships, they can apply for more money and get other things, but this will certainly help in their educational pursuits. And so we're very, very proud of them. So I'd like to start, I'm gonna call them up here, and these children are great students. They represent our school very well. They represent this district very well. So we're proud to announce our first recipient is Tristan Chatfield. So when I call you, come on up here with us, okay? Evie Day. Kira Dakar. Kylie L. And Miss Jordan Stafford. So there were specific requirements and things they had to meet in order to receive this. And as I said, once we went through and we knew they were eligible to receive it, they went up for interviews. Obviously, they did a very good job. They interviewed very well, and the team was very, very pleased with their interviews. And so these are the children that were chosen, and we're so proud of them. So we hope they continue doing well in their educational endeavors.
To say yes, okay? And I also want to say several of the interviewers contacted me afterwards and were so complimentary of these young ladies. I mean, they just could not speak highly enough of, like I said, their interview skills and their knowledge base and just their, I guess, just excitement about education, which they were thrilled to see. Yeah, so we appreciate everything.
Yes.
You can go the other end and y'all slide and squeeze in.
Like each other.
That's right. Ready, cheese. Thank you.
All right. Congratulations. That's for sure. They do very well.
Mr. West, you have one more?
Ma'am?
You have one more?
Oh, sorry.
Let me surprise.
Okay, so I want him to hear this. Let me grab somebody back here and I'll bring him in real quick. I want him to hear what I'm gonna say.
Yes, surprise for the audience.
So I didn't go pursuing someone to help represent our school with our athletic events for the middle school, but it kind of came to me. So this is one of our 8th grade students, Leland Hill. Leland came to me and he really wanted to do this. And I said, okay. So he and I had a lot of conversation about various things. And of course, we all want the very best for Leland. So we worked out some things and we negotiated. And Leland has agreed to be our mascot. So I have affectionately nicknamed him Teddy the Titan. So this is Teddy the Titan, and in just a second, Leland's gonna let y'all see who he is, okay? But of course, the students knew off the rip who he was. They knew it. Like, I couldn't hide it. We couldn't hide it very long, especially, if he spoke or anything. But the kids are excited. All the students really love Leland. They love his school spirit. They love what he's doing. And I told Leland, I said, you know, you're not very far away from high school, and so I told him, I said, listen, you're gonna have to talk to Mr. Clark and see if this can continue and how things go from a high school standpoint. But from the middle school standpoint, he's done a very good job. We're very proud of him. He's been in our basketball games, been in our events, you know, where it's kind of fit that role, and we're just very proud of him. His mom's excited, and we're just happy to have him on. So Leland, let him see who you are, buddy. All right, turn around, let the board members see. We want to do this so badly, so we're giving him this opportunity. And then he said, well, Miss West, can I go to the high school games? Can I go to the high school games? You know, I said, whoa, let's slow it down. slow it down. But no, and I'm extra pleased and happy with how he conducts himself at the games with children and adults, and he does a very good job as a mascot. Doesn't go overboard, but he's kind of walking around, and he's happy that our team's doing well when we do well, and he's with them when they don't do so well. So he's done a really good job. He has a lot of school spirit, and we're very proud of him. So congratulate Teddy the Titan.
Good board, you wanna go and just stand, just stand. Mr. West?
Oh, no, leave your helmet off, don't you think?
No, let's have him with the helmet on and off, we'll do one of each.
Yeah. Okay.
He's got some cool
Where do we
words.
go?
I don't want to cover y'all up, yeah.
He's gonna have to go around the back.
Okay.
You just go get him.
Okay.
We would rather have a picture of you than us here.
That's right.
Thank you, Leland.
Ready? I can't see Leland smiling.
He's smiling.
Okay.
He's smiling.
All right, Leila, let's get one
Got it, yep.
without the helmet.
There we go. Cheese. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Leila.
Thank you.
And Liz,
Okay. Hey, Wes.
Okay. Go back to you there.
We will now enter into public participation. The board values hearing the input of our community. To ensure a productive session and adhere to state and federal legal requirements, we must enforce strict guidelines regarding your comments. Your comments must focus on general policies, broad operational issues, or district-wide programs. You may not discuss specific personnel matters concerning any individual employee. This includes discussions of any individual's hiring, performance review, discipline, or potential termination, nor potential litigation that involves the school district. Under state and federal law, we must protect the confidentiality of all students. Therefore, we may not discuss specific details concerning any individual student, including their identity, actions, or discipline. This applies to your own child as well as any other student, nor specific instances regarding any students. If you wish to address a specific issue involving an employee or your child, please contact the principal or superintendent to arrange a private, confidential meeting. If any student violates those rules by discussing individual employees, individual students, or pending litigation, the chairman will interrupt you and terminate your comments immediately. Thank you for keeping your remarks focused on the general welfare and operation of the school district. I will also remind you have up to 5 minutes to speak, subject to the board or the chairman's discretion to limit public participation for the efficient operation of the business of this meeting. And we have one request for public participation, Mr. Justin Bailey.
Good evening. I'm Justin Bailey. I serve as an officer from Turner County Young Farmer Chapter. I'm here tonight representing not just the officer board, but also the members of the Young Farmer chapter. I'd like to thank Superintendent Ray and all the board members for the opportunity to speak. First, I'd like to take the time to point out and remind everyone what the Turner County Young Farmer chapter brings to not just Turner County School, but to the farmers and citizens of Turner County. We're 180 members strong. With our yearly banquet coming in just a couple of months, we have the potential to increase that number even more. We have 3 living state Young Farmer past presidents in this county: Mr. Ross Kendrick, Mr. Greg Brown, Mr. Alan Whitehead. We have a region and state young agribusiness professional winner, which is Mr. Jesse Story. Mr. Ryan Ireland won young producer in our region and placed second at state level. Mr. Ireland also won beginning peanut producer of the year. Mr. Kyle Mumford won the region chapter president award and placed in the top 3 at the state level. As a chapter, the whole chapter in itself, we have won highest increase in membership 3 times, placed second in membership increase twice. We placed third in membership increase once. We have won outstanding chapter out of the whole state 5 times. 5 times out of the whole state. We have also competed and won in the outstanding chapter display board competition at the state convention. As a chapter, we were one of the first, if one of the first, if not the first, to push social media to promote our chapter. We did such a great job with doing that. Other chapters and the state Young Farmer Association took notice and followed suit behind us. We also bring informative classes to the farmers and citizens of Turner County, ranging from legislative updates from our state representatives to artificial insemination classes to ornament and craft classes for the wives and daughters of the farmers. The biggest part of what our chapter provides is networking. And we all know in today's economy, we all need to network to try and cut expenses in any way possible. We also operate one of only 30 canning plants in the state. Our canning plant is one of the most used, if not the most used in the state. We also supply all the cans to all other canning plants through our canning plant. These accomplishments are not everything our chapter has done. I've only highlighted a portion over the years. I've saved 2 of our proudest, well, I hold them as our proudest accomplishments for last. First, our chapter pulled off something, a fundraiser event that no other chapter in the state has attempted nor done, not even on the state level. We successfully raffled off a brand new Chevy Silverado truck as a fundraiser. No one has done that until our chapter did it. No one has done it since, not even the state level, not even the state convention. Secondly, and probably the most recognizable, our chapter was one of the original and main influences that were instrumental in restoring the Big Peanut, which is a state monument. In 2018, to help assist with fundraising, our chapter donated multiple cases of Bold peanuts. Mr. Ball, you picked those up yourself and helped oversaw their distribution. Now, some of you, or maybe all of you, are asking, what's all that has to do with the school and school board, and why should we care? Well, the answer is simple: recognition. With recognition, it brings possible more funding from various sources, grants from state level, etc. It causes the Turner County school system to be looked at. What are they doing to have such a big organization? Madam Superintendent, school board members, you're in control of where this chapter goes next and what recognition we can bring to the school system. The future is in your hands, and it starts tonight. We have reached a pivotal role with the Turner County Young Farmer chapter. Our current advisor has chosen to retire early after feeling forced out of the system by current administration. We believe that there are parts of the current administration that do not support the ag program nor the Young Farmer program. That lack of support also forced out a highly awarded ag teacher in the past that did not want to leave, which would have been and still could be the perfect replacement for the current advisor. We believe that if the right person is not chosen and hired as our next advisor, then our chapter as we know it and what we have all worked so hard to build will crumble. We will lose members. We will not have the awards being brought back to our county. we will no longer be the chapter that other school advisors and chapters look to as a model for their chapter. And yes, believe me, other schools do look to our chapter and has tried to model their chapters after ours because we have been so successful. And part of that is because of who our advisors were. We request and strongly urge the superintendent and the school board to give us seats on the interview board and give us a voice in who our next advisor will be. Superintendent Ray, we have met with you and voiced our concerns. We're voicing our concerns with you tonight, school board. The future of this program is in your hands. Where do you want to see it go? Do you want to be a part of the growth and success with the right person, or do you want to be part of the failure and collapse of this program? The choice is yours. Please allow us seats and a voice in the interview process. We urge you and very strongly to give us a voice and let us be part of that process. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Bailey. Item 6 is items requiring board actions recommendation from the superintendent. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes from last month. Have a motion from Mr. Ball.
Second.
Second from Ms. Kenny. All in favor? Unanimous. Approval of the November 2025 financial statement. Have a motion from Ms. Wood.
Second.
Second from Ms. Kenny. All in favor? Unanimous. Approval of the SPOS budget.
Motion.
Have a motion from Mr. Ball.
Second.
Second from Ms. Wood. All in favor? Unanimous. Approval of the new middle high school budget summary. Have a motion.
Make a motion.
Have a motion from Ms. Kendrick.
Second.
Second from Mr. Ball. All in favor? Unanimous. Approval of the HR recommendations. Have a motion from Mr. Ball. Second from Mr. Brown. All in favor? Unanimous. Approve the ELOS resolution in our packets and authorize Superintendent Ray to transmit certified resolutions to Turner County Election Superintendent, initiating call to May 19th, 2026 referendum. Do I have a motion? Have a motion from Ms. Wood. Second from Mr. Ball. All in favor? Unanimous. Consideration and approval to update regulation DJE R1 purchasing regulations to raise the micro purchase from less than $1,500 to less than $5,000. Motion. Have a motion from Mr. Ball. Second from Mr. Brown. All in favor? Unanimous. Elect our board chair and vice chair for the 2026 calendar year. Do I have a nomination?
I make a motion to, Mr. Ball for chairman and Ms. Kenny for vice.
I second.
I have a motion for Mr. Ball to serve as chairman for the 2026 calendar year, Ms. Kendrick to serve as vice chair for the 2026 calendar year. From Mr. Brown and second from Ms. Wood. All in favor? That is unanimous. Approval of the school board attorney for the 2026 calendar year. Have a motion for Mr. Hunt. Have a motion from Mr. Ball. Second from Ms. Kenny. All in favor? That is unanimous. Approval of the board meeting dates for the 2026 calendar year. Have a motion. Motion from Ms. Wood. Second from Mr. Ball. All in favor? That is unanimous. Adoption of norms and protocols. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Have a motion from Ms. Kendrick.
Second.
Second from Ms. Wood. All in favor? It is unanimous. Approval of Parker Poe as special education attorney for the 2026 calendar year. Have a motion? Have a motion from Mr. Ball. Second from Ms. Wood. All in favor? It is unanimous. Approval of FFA leadership overnight field trip to Camp John Hope. Request TR 8190 from May 25th through May 29th, 2026. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
A motion from Ms. Kendrick. Second from Mr. Ball. All in favor? That is unanimous. proposed 2026-2027 school year calendar in front of us. We,
You can lay the table for 30 days.
Okay.
Were there any changes from the previous
There was
one?
one change, there was one error, where there was a professional learning day listed on a day after the last day of school, so we just removed that. So there's one green date that is just removed, it didn't impact, we still have 180 student days and 10 professional learning days.
we will approve that in next month's regular meeting.
Do we still have, we do still have some early
We
release?
left them as early release, yes ma'am.
Any more questions or comments? Item 8 is information items for the board. Do you have any updates?
I do have some construction updates.
Okay.
We had a meeting on Wednesday, since our last work session this past Monday. I wanted to let you know that, the bronze work that's been very much in the forefront of all of our minds, based on the fact that it did not match originally. 80% of those interior storefronts have now been painted. They will be finished the weekend of January the 16th through the 19th. JCI will come back in. The new doors in the cafeteria, if you remember the ones going out into the courtyard, those can't be repainted. They have to be replaced completely. So they had to be remade by the company. And they're planning on, installing them, I think over spring break is the tentative timeline right now. The roofing was scheduled to start on building 1400, the new one out back, today actually. The HVAC equipment is set to be set with the crane next week, that's the week of the 19th. And then the fireproofing will also begin the week of the 19th. And, so we're still on schedule, actually a little bit ahead of schedule. October 15th is the date that we are putting in the paperwork, but October 1st is what we're now shooting for at the end of September. And that's for the gym. The rest of it, everything else with the College and Career Academy, ROTC band, chorus, those will be finished by the first day of school. That's what we're targeting.
Is the topping off still on?
It is, the topping off is still scheduled for this Friday at 2 o'clock. I think we're gonna have about 70 between the board members, the district office, school admin, our student, superintendent, student advisory council, some of our elementary school students, as well as some of our high school basketball kids are gonna be there. So we'll have about 75 in attendance, 2 o'clock on Friday.
Before we get to the principal's mid-year data review, do you have any more updates from the information items for the board from last week?
I think that, we have secured the table for the chamber annual banquet, so if you put that January 29th, we have, tables reserved for you and your spouses. And that's all that I have, except for the principal's media data.
So we will begin the principal's mid-year data review. Who gets to go first?
That's me.
Before that, I know it's gonna take a long time. We're not gonna touch this case. I got those last time, make sure we can see it.
That's right, if you would.
Good evening, everybody. It's just for the, Turner County Elementary School. I'm gonna share it.
Let's get sleep over.
Everyone, let's know, working hard over at the Turner County Elementary School, from admin down to teachers, parents, we trying to get our students, along with this ride, so we're gonna continue pushing throughout the year. We have seen some significant growth in areas that we wanna look at, and you can easily see it when you go through what we have here today. I got down all the data from all of our testing that we have done so far this year, that we'll continue on even during this second semester. And I can go ahead, I know one of the first ones you see on there is student attendance. The student attendance shows you there, and that first column is attendance that we use, and it shows the unexcused absences that we can, they bring in notes and stuff for, but the second area, the second side of that column, that's what's reported to the state. You'll see it here. Some of our lovely children right there again. But like I say, these right here, these are all absences, and these are ones that we show that they do have a note for from parents if they went to the doctor or anything like that that we use. But the secondary is what's gonna be reported to the state. This is our teacher. These are our teacher and faculty, attendance. That's from everybody from leadership all the way back down to pre-K, and it just shows you from every area, where we're located. So, you'll see how our attendance is going at this time right here.
Is that from last year, is that even?
That's the end of December.
From August to December.
Yes, ma'am.
Compared to last year, that same time period, we're on.
It's kind of about the same. I think we're a little bit lower this year, because last year we had a lot of, we had like a pregnancy here, and we had someone that was out, because of medical issues, so I think they were going like that. So, but I think right now we're a little bit lower, but it's still room for improvement. That's what we need to improve as we move forward.
When these numbers contain someone that's pregnant?
No, not on this, that's why I said it was a little bit more. A lot of these is basically because, and this also includes professional days too. So this is just not, they called out, like this, I just got every absence to show, when they were not in the classroom. So that's professional days, that's, jury duty, medical and everything like that also. So I just wanted to make sure you knew that it's for everything.
How many sped teachers do you have?
That's the whole department. We have 6 certified SPED teachers, and then we have another 5 or 6 paras, so all of them are in there together. So that's the biggest department. So even though it says 72, we probably got about, and that's Lee McCard, speech therapy, that's Tanya Barber, speech therapy. So it's about 14 or 15 of them in that group. So that's why that number is much larger than the other numbers. And then, all the classrooms are either 3 teachers or 4 teachers for each grade level.
Third grade did real good.
Oh yeah, they don't miss. That's part of them. That's Miss Guest, Mrs. Morris, and Mrs. Healy. They don't miss days. If they miss a day, it's something that really happened. This is our ready for reading, and like I say, the main thing we want to do is grow our green and shrink our red. And as you can see there, we're starting to slowly get more. And you see the farthest green area is where the kids are on grade level or above. We're trying to shrink that down so as we get closer and closer to GMAS testing days. This is for math, same thing. You see that our yellow is getting a little bit bigger, so we're moving to 1 grade level down. Math is one of those areas that they changed the curriculum, so we're getting our kids, HMH is really helping us out, but it's still kind of difficult for our kids with that new curriculum that came out. But we're pushing to get them closer and closer to that grade level. Beacon reading, this is the 4th and 5th. They only did Beacon. They didn't do iReady. We put them, Beacon is kind of like a cousin to the GMAS test. So we put them through that same kind of testing environment. So we put 4th and 5th. As you can see, support needed decreased. Where they near target kind of stayed the same. And then we got a little bit of an increase on prepared. Those are the kids who are scored for us, hopefully in the 3 and 4 areas on GMAS Day.
Tell me something though. You've got this fall and winter. Okay. Winter.
So fall is basically at the beginning of the school year, August. We just say that's fall, and then when we take again in December, we just say that's winter. Just kind of just separate. I know fall is still kind of summertime, but we just kind of separated with that, with us being in school.
Okay, you did it twice.
We'll take it one more time in March. Look on here. Again, this is math showing the same thing. It dropped significantly for my kids that need support. It increased for the kids who near target, so that's good. They moved from need support to near their target, and then we went up a little bit in prepared. It's the same thing, August and then back in December. Risk assessment, this is working with our kids in our reading area for House Bill 307 with our dyslexia push. And you can see that last year we started out with a lot of our kids at 46% at risk, but this year we came back in at 30%. So the numbers are changing dramatically. We're very pleased with that. That's showing that a lot more of our kids are near their reading targets, and we're going to keep pushing. So instead of it being at the mid-year 14% last year, Now we're at 65% of these kids that are going, so little increases, we're gonna take every, reward and every, growth that we can get throughout the year to get there. And then it just shows you, it just breaks it down where we are right now. This is what the state looks at, the at-risk, but these two not at-risk and some risk, they were put together, and that's how we got that 65 and we got that 35. That's on the other pages where we are right now. And you can read through that to let you see the things that we're gonna try to do to help push that during flex time and other parts of our day. This is our math fluency, the same thing, we're still working on that. And what we do, we bring the kids into the cafeteria, into the media center. Teacher sits in front of them, gives them a certain number of math problems, and gives them a minute. And we check them to see how many they get correct during that minute. And that's how we gather our math fluency. And that's one of our big pushes, because a lot of our kids, basically 4th and 5th grade, they missing a lot of the foundational things. So we're pushing that in summer school to get those foundations, and we're pushing it during our flex time also. And then this is science. We're pushing to get science there with common assessments. The first test, those are 2 different tests, but we're using different DOK questions on each one to get them prepared for that science. As we know, science is a big area of need in our area, so we're going to try to keep pushing that to see how we can push it to the end of the year. They're taking these science common assessments throughout the year. That's our data. If you have any questions? And if y'all do, you can always email me on anything that you see there, and we'll let you know. You want to come through and see, we invite you any day to come through to read to our students, or just to come by and say, hey. Thank you.
Alrighty, so we're here at the mid-year already. It's flying by. It really is going by fast. So this first slide, I'm extremely excited about. Okay. As you're aware, Turner County Middle School was on the TSI list, Targeted Support and Instruction list, due to our SWD performance. Okay. So as part of ESSA and the accountability requirements, right? You can either be assigned CSI or TSI designations. So we were TSI. So due to improved performance, I can say that Turner County Middle School has been removed from the list this year. So educators out here that work in our school, and we're proud to have them and proud to see that. So as far as our action plan progress, with Content Master, 8th grade Content Master increased by 37% on the ELA Beacon. That is awesome. 38% of 8th graders are reading on grade level. And this is, the correlation going from the beginning of the year, that's how much growth we've had. 8th grade science increased by over 80% on the first semester. All right, on attendance, what we've done is we've shared the district protocol for parents, students, and staff. And we did form an attendance team just as we did last year. As far as behavior goes, interventions put in place to help with chronic issues, trying to do positive referrals. So that's working out pretty good. So here's some of our behavior data. In August, first month of school, had roughly 40. 6, 3, 20, 35, and 11. So as you can see, it's kind of gone down over the past 3 months. Okay, it's been steady, and it's gone down, so that's good. Our attendance data in regards to students. So we have our 3 categories here. This is who has missed 5 or fewer days. Okay. This next category is the percentage of students who have missed between 6 to 15 days. Between 6 and 15 days. And then the last category, if we have any children who have missed 16 plus days, okay? So out of 233 students, we have approximately 174 students who are in the 5 or fewer days. So 75% of the school has missed 5 or fewer days. 23% have missed somewhere between 6 and 15 days, and this was 53 students. And we have 6 students who have missed 16 or more days, which is not good. And those students have, we've taken the right steps and we're handling that, okay? With our staff, now I put whether they miss partial day, full day, I put whether it was professional day, sick day, maternity, you know, every category there is, I put everything on there, okay? So you can see those numbers. These are just some of the highlights of the professional development that we've done. Just to name a few, CP Risa ELA Singleton's workshop. Ms. Jenny Anderson comes in and helps from CP Risa. She helps with our ELA teachers. She does a great job. Science assessment with the DOE, unlocking student success, connecting science and social studies to literacy, Infinite Campus spotlight training. Just lots of things going on. We had AI support from CP Risa, so that's been really good. AI is a huge thing now, and the number, you know, we just want to make sure that our teachers have an opportunity to use it, but use it professionally, you know, and use it the right way. So, all right, some of our Beacon data, 6th grade ELA. So Beacon 1 was in the fall, Beacon 2 was the most recent, so see that data? On 6th grade math. 7th grade ELA. Seventh grade math. 8th grade ELA. And 8th grade math. So I would say the most significant growth was definitely in 8th grade ELA and math. So one thing I wanted to do different this year at the middle school was I wanted to have an interventionist. I wanted to have somebody that was really strong and could really do a good job in ELA and math. And so we have a person there, and this is the first year we kind of rearranged our schedule, our master schedule, to be able to have interventions. And this is just some of our data for all 3 grade levels. Now on the next slide, this is the growth that we've had with the numbers of students. This is the growth that we've had with the interventions in place. So, for example, 6th grade ELA, you have 10 with significant growth, and unfortunately we have 4 that we're still working to try to improve. And this was some high-ready diagnostic growth. As you can see here, 6th grade, you had 8 that had significant growth out of the 12, and 4 didn't have much growth, but we're still working. And just to kind of end the night with some grows and glows, I want to highlight some things. We still want to increase the lexile levels across all grade levels, 6th, 7th, and 8th, to strengthen reading comprehension and literacy growth, okay? We want to improve GMAS performance in English language arts and reading through targeted instruction, data-driven interventions, and consistent progress monitoring. And of course, we want to improve the GMAS performance in math. Okay, some glows I want to highlight is, you know, we had a spelling bee, a very successful spelling bee, and we're about to have a district spelling bee that includes some of the 4th and 5th graders from the elementary with our winners here at the middle school. We tonight recognized our 25-26 Reed Scholarship winners, and you can see those names highlighted again. Great students in the building. And then one more highlight, you know, we want to again
highlight that Turner County Middle School was removed from the TSI list, the Target Support Instruction list. So we've improved there, and we're very, very proud of that. So, let me know if you have any questions about the data, and I can explain, anything we need to. Okay?
So you're testing Beacon and Irene,
Yes,
and that's all.
based on subject area, yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
Good afternoon, everybody. As you know, I enjoy kind of spreading kind of the good things we do at Turner County High School, but I always say this at the beginning, I don't do this by myself. It takes collective effort of several professionals each and every day to make sure we serve the students in Turner County High School. So with that being said, I started off with our demographics. This has kind of been constant over the last 3 or 4 years, staying somewhere around 300 students. It's kind of a little work when the year first started, it got down to like 280. But as the year progressed, we've had a lot of enrollment, so we're back up to around the 300 mark. But you can see the breakdown as far as every grade level, demographic-wise. Next is our SMART goals. We've been pretty much consistent with all 3 SMART goals we've had over time. The first one is all our content areas in EOCs, which is American Literature, U.S. History, Biology, and Algebra 1 Concepts and Connections. And we want about 5% gain each and every year as it relates to those subject areas. We do get an opportunity to do dual enrollment in U.S. history, and we still a lot of points with dual enrollment in U.S. history, because every student that takes dual enrollment in U.S. history, all they have to do is pass the class and we get a 3 on CCRBI, and also our points as far as EOC. So we were growing that enrollment. We only had one small group of students that want to take the class, but every other student in 11th grade considered taking dual enrollment in U.S. history, so that's a plus for us. Also, our second goal would be increasing attendance. And you'll see on the slide down the road, we've kind of decreased it in attendance first semester, but we have things to kind of make that right as we grow second semester. And our last goal is growing our pathways in all of our areas. And as you know, 7 years ago, our pathways were very, very small. We had, I think, 2 or 3 pathways, but now we've grown that to around 7 or 8. And we want to continue to grow that, but you have to be careful growing your pathways. We only have 300 kids. And when you start adding too many pathways, it causes us to lose money in FTEs and our other subject areas. So you got to be real careful. So that's why we use youth science and other activities just to see what students want, and also look at our community and serve those needs. Just moving on to action plan. These are some of the things we did as it relates to SMART goal number 1. We've increased the number of teachers teaching EOC subject areas. Several years ago, we only had 1 teacher teaching that. Now we have 2 teachers teaching it, and we want to be able to compare the data. It's always having 2 people to compare the data does help. Also, relevant professional development. We don't want teachers just going in there for 45 minutes doing anything. We have a wonderful instructional coach, Ms. Page, and she drives those teachers each and every Tuesday and Thursday to try to grow their capacity. We have curriculums now in Algebra 1 and also in ELA, which is extremely helpful because a lot of teachers scaffold and look for things to kind of help support our endeavors in the classroom, but we do have curriculum in both those areas. We're looking to grow and get more curriculum in biology and U.S. history, and our teachers are, have our head to the ground, looking and searching for the best resources to kind of help in those 2 areas. Next action plan goal is student attendance, which I just mentioned a while ago. You'll see that our attendance has decreased, but what we're going to do, we're going to raise awareness. We're going to start having more assemblies about student attendance. We're doing something different this semester. I'm going to meet with all students that have missed 10 or more days during Titan Block on Friday. And what we're going to do, we're going to review what they've done Monday through Thursday, just to see how we can meet them where they are. We do understand that students have at home at high school, they're help paying bills, they're working, so we got to find a way to meet them where they are as it relates to them coming to school. We're asking them to turn excuses the way they need to. We're doing every single thing we can do to grow that capacity as it relates to attendance. Also, returning excuses. It used to be a whole rule, you bring them in 3 days. We really don't do that at high school. We give students any opportunity at any point in time to bring in excuses, and what it does is just grow that capacity because we're trying to teach what you need to do in the workforce. You got to communicate with your employers, you got to do what you got to do as far as turning those excuses and have those honest conversations with people when we're missing. So we ask them to turn excuses at any time, which a lot of them are turning in within that 3 to 5 year period. And then the last thing, having attendance meetings, looking parents, looking students in the eyes, and saying, hey, what can we do to help you all, opposed to just beating them up with words. Because a lot of times parents are already defeated when you invite them to an attendance meeting. So when they come in the room, you have to meet them where they are and just say, hey, how can we help, how can we assist for your child to come to school a lot better.
And then the last one is that pathway completion. One thing we started last year is having individual bridge build meetings, just sitting down with that student and say, hey, what do you want to do? What classes you want to take in high school? And that's been extremely helpful. And also, when we get to the bridge build meetings, the parents don't have to ask a lot of questions because we've had the opportunity to sit down with the child prior to those bridge build meetings. And like I mentioned earlier, that EOPA data, U-Science, and also transcript audits do help with doing our pathways. Here's a breakdown of our first semester EOC data. As you see, this is just a snapshot of our students that will be taking EOCs. We do have another, test that will be coming up in May. So this is just a snapshot of first semester. So you'll see the breakdown of those scores from first semester as it relates to algebra and biology. U.S. history, as I talked about earlier, we just had one cohort of students taking it with Ms. Guess, but the majority of our students are taking U.S. history dual enrollment. Student attendance data, here's kind of snapshot what it is, and what I want you to look at is this last column. This is a lot of days. The state only allows us 18 days before we're penalized on CCRBI. So we have 15 students that have already almost met that mark already first semester. So once again, those conversations, having a group meet with me during Titan Block, I think that's gonna help that tremendously. Here's referrals. We really don't have a lot of behavior in high school. We do have incidents, from time to time. You notice August, September was kind of high, and it trickled down to 2 in December. And the main concern was student vaping. I will say from October to December, we only had 2 vaping incidents because with our cameras, our new up-to-date cameras, with our vape detectors in the bathroom, students will understand and know that if you go in and vape, the minute you come out that restroom, the camera's gonna capture you and it alerts our phone real time. So I'm able to go to my phone real time, pull up a video and see who exactly was in that restroom when the vape detectors go off. So it took them a couple months to figure that out, but now I'm here to tell you that vaping has almost been eliminated at high school because of the cameras and detections we have. And then fights, we still down to a minimum of fights. Only had 5 first semester and 4 of those came from 9th graders. Leader in Me, we still got the Leader in Me initiative going. And that's not only just to grow the capacity of the students, it's also to grow the capacity with our staff. So you'll see the kind of things we do with that. Weekly lessons, leadership roles in our classrooms, community involvement. We do our Ms. Guest during Christmas, her Titan Block, Leader in Me group. They went to the nursing home and gave out things at the nursing home. So just different things to kind of grow that capacity with community involvement. And also our staff initiatives. I send staff a newsletter every Sunday. In that newsletter, I give them something to read themselves as it relates to reading, Leader in Me, and the resources that we receive from them. Workshops and trainings and so forth and so on. A couple glows and grows, a couple grows that we're always looking at the high school is to grow that Tier 1 instructional practices, student attendance and assessment practices. And our glows, increased dual enrollment, food and agriculture pathways scored 100% this first semester, which is great. We have 1 walk on every teacher in the building, and also being consistent with our celebrations. Everybody want to be loved on, staff and students, so we're doing a better job with that. And then I mentioned the decreased vaping incidents from October to December to 2. And this is kind of, one of the sheets that I want you guys to kind of pay attention throughout this semester with spring. These are our important dates. You see a lot of it is living on seniors, but a lot of it is involving some underclassmen. One thing I do want to spotlight, we do give the SAT, which our seniors and juniors really love the opportunity to take the SAT in our building with us, and then you'll see honors nights all the way down to graduation, the things we'll do second semester. Okay. Questions?
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Item 9 is the item to address the superintendent.
We did talk about the superintendent student advisory council having our December meeting and it being focused on school traditions. I told you I'll give you the minutes for that meeting. You've got those in the back of your folder. So that's the very last thing in your folder. And you'll see some of the really innovative, creative suggestions that they have for ways to continue the legacy for our schools, even our younger generations. We'll be working on those. We'll be following up with the students and maybe developing some of those into something that we can do this summer.